And the data he shared is the data we spoke to tonight in terms of the 12% represented, if you got a 0, it would be equivalent to a letter grade. If you got a 50, it would be equivalent to half of a letter grade.
Okay.
Again, it depends. If you have a 95, a letter grade change.
It won't change.
95 to 85, right?
300 failed final exams. You want to make that 12% of those kids' grades. I don't,
Some of those kids though, in like senior year, they check out once they get
They
there.
don't need them.
They're,
I wish
so
we could open after Martin the data
we may have to filter that out a little bit. Because they already got into college.
But that was of all
failed.
kids who took finals, that
Yeah.
wasn't just seniors, right? That was
Yeah.
all kids who took finals. So
Yeah.
2,300 failed.
There's only 30, how many kids?
I would like to know how, I would like to see a split out, how many were seniors, how many
Yeah.
were juniors? Because it was mostly seniors,
They check out.
senioritis, they're done,
Yeah.
they're checked out. I'd want to say that that's,
I don't think that's true. If you
It
have,
depends on the child.
you,
Yeah.
depends on the child, but I want to
I
see that. I
don't
want to
think
see
the
the
norm
My
would
children
be,
die.
I don't think the norm would be, I'm in college, I'm gonna check out because you
It
have.
is, I'm telling you, there are sociology studies, and correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong. There are sociology studies out there that show that.
Really? Yes.
You've also eliminated a big chunk of your population that would skew your data, meaning all of the students that
Don't need the grade.
you would project to do very well on the final are not taking it. So that, what that does is that creates almost like a bias in the data that leans more towards underperformance. I think that there is some truth to the fact that kids, as a former high school teacher, I can tell you right now, I remember like having joking conversations with students and said, Meralda, I figured out I could get a 16 on your
Yeah.
final and still get a B for the marking period.
Mhm.
And I would say, well,
I guess I have
good
over-
for you. I said, that's probably the most work you did all week. But figure out that calculation. But I think that, I will say that those things are happening. However, I would then kick it back to a standard practice. And I think the larger conversation that we alluded to at curriculum committee is more about assessment design.
Is the
Assessment,
test
authenticity.
the correct information? Like, that's why I asked when they revised their, because a lot of the issues do happen in math
And
and
yeah,
science.
and when we had the conversation as a team, admittedly, I found that my perspective on the argument was much different than my colleagues because the overwhelming majority of our final exams, and even speaking with Mr. Snyder in my former department, are performance-based.
As they
And-
should be.
And in many instances, like I use woodshop as an example, the fourth marking period is a culmination of skills, right? And particularly a project-based, and usually that final exam is an assessment of the culmination of skills.
What they can make in,
And
what
it
marking period
feels-
and what they can make in the first marking period
Right,
is very
and it,
different.
and it feels like a summative assessment for the fourth marking period that just happens to carry a lot of weight. Now, that's just in a very nuanced area of curriculum. So it is a challenging, from my perspective, I would be in the camp, just selfishly at my department, I'm in the camp of, I would be hard pressed to know that if one project tells the entire tale of a student's ability to improve in woodshop.
And I think that's the percentage, so I feel, and I wish I had more substantial, and we wanted to push it along only because we want the children to know where they're going in September. And we have to push it to September meeting, because I'm not a mathematical person, so I'm very simple. There's 16%, we're concerned with its value, we're concerned with what it grades, we're concerned with what it tests, let's go to 8. That's just like off the top of my head, that's how I do things. Half of 16 is 8, let's move forward. I don't want to be disrespectful to, he worked with a team of people, I was not part of that team, I did reach out to him on more than one occasion, he definitely reciprocated it in his conversations with me, but I wasn't into the nitty gritty. So we can do one of two things. We can have a recommendation to change it to 12 because it's better than this, and let it be brought up again. Because no one says you can't change the policy twice. I mean,